Hi guys, so Taoiseach or Prime Minister Leo Varadkar announced this morning that at midday Irish time there would be some huge news for the country. While some thought this could be talk of a general election, instead he delivered a speech to say that he was resigning as leader of the government and of his party. He said that he can't continue as Taoiseach and it's time for somebody else to take over. His party is deeply unpopular and many commentators are saying that he is going before he's pushed. Have a listen.
I am resigning as President and Leader of Fine Gael effective today and will resign as Taoiseach as soon as my successor is able to take up that office. I've asked our Party General Secretary and Executive Council to provide for the new leader to be elected in advance of the Ardèche on Saturday, April 16th, thus allowing a new Taoiseach to be elected when the Dáil resumes after the Easter break. My reasons for stepping down are both personal and political. I believe this government can be re-elected, and I believe my party Fine Gael can gain seats in the next Dáil. Most of all, I believe the re-election of this three-party government would be the right thing for the future of our country, continuing to take us forward, protecting all that's been achieved and building on it. But after careful consideration and some soul-searching, I believe that a new Taoiseach and a new leader will be better placed than me to achieve that, to renew and strengthen the team, to focus our message and policies, to drive implementation. And after 7 years in office, I don't feel I'm the best person for that job anymore. I want to finish by thanking the people of Ireland for giving me the opportunity to serve them. And I promise I'll keep working for Ireland and my community in any way I can in the future. Thank you very much.
Okay, so a few things to say about this. First of all, internationally, he's well respected. And I think a lot of people internationally are wondering, why is he resigning? He was so popular. He was not popular at home. That's the problem. I'll get to that in a moment. But internationally, when it comes to the European Union, extremely popular. Even Britain, with British Prime Ministers, he's quite popular. But the real thing that's bringing him down, of course, is domestic politics and domestic issues, primarily immigration, housing and healthcare. So when it comes to healthcare, there's a record number of people on trolleys. The health crisis has not been resolved since he took over as Taoiseach. When it comes to immigration, we saw a massive increase in immigration, and this has led into another crisis that has dogged politicians. But also, this problem has to be laid at the door of the government as well. Housing. They have not produced enough affordable and social housing, enough council housing to alleviate the housing crisis. And it's a massive crisis. There are young people who are staying at home with parents because they can't afford to rent, never mind buy. And there's a massive number of people who are homeless, along with a massive number who are renting at the moment because they can't afford to buy their own home. This is unprecedented, and house prices are going through the roof. There's issues with vulture funds coming in and buying up property, which is of course making it impossible for young people who have already put aside enough money to perhaps get a mortgage. They're losing the chance because of these investment funds coming in and buying up all this property. So there are a number of massive number of serious domestic issues that have brought him to this conclusion that he can't stay in place. Now the reaction from politicians in Ireland has been, the typical response. Okay, he's done a good job, and sad to see him go, or whatever. But, for example, when it comes to Brexit, he was very popular within the European Union, and he was respected by British prime ministers. But, for example, unionists in Northern Ireland, they were not so happy with Leo Varadkar. This is Nigel Dodds, a member of the House of Lords for the DUP. He wrote this on Twitter. He will go down as one of the most unhelpful leaders of recent years in terms of attitudes towards unionists and in building better relationships between unionists and the South. We have to remember, Leo Varadkar was there during the Brexit negotiations with Boris Johnson, Liz Truss, Theresa May, and Rishi Sunak. And one of the things that really upset unionists in Northern Ireland, especially the DUP, was that Leo Varadkar said that if Brexit happened, it would be bad for the island of Ireland. He said that it would risk a return to violence, the IRA returning to violence, if there was a hard border put on the island of Ireland. And he was correct. And this upset the likes of the DUP, because the DUP wanted a hard border on the island of Ireland. They didn't get it. And I think in their eyes, they didn't get it because of people like Leo Varadkar. That Varadkar put pressure on the European Union, who in turn put pressure on the UK government to not allow a border to take place on the island of Ireland. Now, of course, a border can't be put in place on the island of Ireland because of the Good Friday Agreement. And the DUP, if you don't know, were against the Good Friday Agreement from the very beginning. So the DUP campaigned for Brexit, hoping that it would result in a hard border on the island of Ireland. Leo Varadkar and the Irish government at the time said, look, this is dangerous. If there's a border put up, it's going to damage the peace process. It's going to undo the Good Friday Agreement. It will result in attacks on any infrastructure there, because the IRA has said, look, we gave up our weapons. We ended our war in order to have something like the Good Friday Agreement. And now Brexit is going to get rid of that. So it's going to undermine that. So, of course, Leo Varadkar was unpopular with the likes of the DUP because he was talking reality. He was explaining reality to them. And they, of course, operate outside reality. So he's going. He, once again, was not popular in the Republic of Ireland because of domestic issues like housing, immigration, and healthcare. His legacy, I don't know what it actually will be. Maybe it will be Brexit, getting a good deal for the Irish state when it came to Brexit, making sure that there wasn't going to be a hard border on the island of Ireland. But when it comes to domestic issues, I think he's going to remain a really unpopular figure going forward. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.